It's a game of catch. You toss the hoop back and forth, using your sticks to throw and catch the hoop, and just by crossing and sliding apart.
More than a century and a half ago, this farm on Roanoke Island, owned then by the Etheridge family, might have had a game of catch or graces being played in the yard. But the family also had crops to tend and livestock.
His name is Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, don't you mess up my lens.
And there were always chores to do, pretty much the same things that still go on here every day.
This is a type of rug called a toothbrush rug. That's one of the names for it. And it would be from a toothbrush where the bristles had come down or come off, and then you would file it down and make the hole a little bigger, and that becomes your needle, and make a rug.
There's always something you have to repair, always something that, breaks, always something that you just have to make. It's like, oh, we need that.
Back in 1847, there was no local hardware store, so in this historic working farm, they continue to do things in the old-fashioned ways. Gene and Charlene Staples are the site managers for Island Farm, and they are totally immersed into the 19th century mindset in a region where the prominent history occurred centuries earlier, when the lost colonists arrived and perished without a trace.
And when the early colonists came, they had not too much interaction with Native Americans, so they weren't introduced to corn. They couldn't even grow a carb. You could live off of bread and water, but if you can't grow wheat to have flour to make bread. But by this time, these families had figured out how to make it here in this harsh environment.
Gene and Charlene still work the farm successfully, just like the Etheridges, who prospered.
And so we're portraying daily life here as it was in the late 1840s, 1850s. We have all the outbuildings they would have had have been reproduced. We grow a lot of the same crops. We have all the same livestock represented that were recorded here by the 1850 census of the United States.
There's nothing roped off. You can pick up things and touch things, and you don't get that too often at a lot of living history sites. So it almost feels like you're visiting family or visiting a grandparent's farm. And that's what we want. We want people to feel like that, they have just come and stepped back in time, but yet can interact with it.
North Carolina has a rich history, and much of it happened within a few miles of this location. It's possible to see and learn quite a bit about the Outer Banks without traveling far from here, but Island Farm is a worthwhile visit to link it all together.
We have a live oak tree that's estimated to be over 400 years old. We're kind of a connecting rod between the Lost Colony and the Wright brothers. The things that the Outer Banks are known for, we have that tree that may have been alive here when the Lost Colony was here, and one of the grandsons buried in the family graveyard was a witness to the Wright brothers' flight. We make it as close as possible to stepping back into that time, seeing, feeling, and smelling, tasting in some cases, exactly what it was really like to live on a farm on Roanoke Island in the 1840s and 50s.
Island Farm is located at 1140 U.S. Highway 64, just north of Manteo on Roanoke Island, and they're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Friday until November 30th. For more information, give them a call at 252-473-6500 or go online to theislandfarm.com.